the ACC update is that Duke has 3 first-round picks on their team. So if they don't win the title,
where's Wendell Moore?
31, 32, somewhere in there.
Because that might be 4, dude.
Okay, so they have 4 first-round picks. So if they don't win the championship, historic failure, I think so would say, based on the talent that they have there. So
that's where, you know what the ACC update should be? It should be, instead of you give us an update on the ACC, it's the Duke shook, the Tate shook by Duke power rankings or whatever. Like what is it that's got you shook the most about Duke this week?
I cannot believe that. I cannot believe that. Oscar Tshiebwe at 46, Kobe Coburn 56, Mark Williams 15. Make it make sense. I don't get it. Anyways, Duke number 1 in the ACC with 4 potential first-round draft picks. Notre Dame second in the ACC. Duke and Notre Dame actually both 12-3. Duke has the tiebreaker. So there you go. That's a race to watch out for. Notre Dame almost lost to Boston College. Had to go to overtime.
Yeah, I was watching that. I was watching that.
Already lost to Boston College earlier in the year, so this could have been 2 losses to Boston College potentially, but they dodge a bullet. Miami's 11-4. They're now in 3rd place in the ACC.
Well, what's up with Miami? Nobody. Miami wasn't Miami in first. Miami wins in Cameron Indoor Stadium. They were in first place. I know they've fallen back a little bit. Miami's an NCAA tournament team.
Yes, they were in the tournament.
Okay,
so they're in 3rd place.
Do they have? Are they in the ACC? Are we taking them seriously as like an ACC title threat?
No, I mean, the regular season is a 2-man race, I think, right now.
It's a 2-man race.
Notre Dame and Duke.
Okay.
Which is Duke's. I mean, Duke doesn't win the regular season. Again, historic, colossal failure. Something that we will be talking about for decades and eons to come.
So even though Miami's a game back, I'm not telling you you're wrong. I just want this spelled out for me. Miami's a game back, but you think they're done. You think Miami's not going to be able to.
I think Virginia's going to beat Miami on Saturday.
Okay.
And then I think Virginia Tech is going to beat Miami the following Saturday. And I think Syracuse plays them in the last game of the season in the ACC. And if I know anything about the Boeheims and Syracuse, they're going to win that game heading into the ACC tournament. So I see 3 losses coming up for Miami in my ACC calculations. And I would happily be wrong if Miami shocks the world and wins the ACC. But that's the way that I'm looking at it as I look through their schedule. Number 4 in the ACC, not as far back as you would think. The University of North Carolina at 10-5, 18-8 on the season. Again, embarrassed at home by your Pittsburgh Panthers. Back-to-back trips to Chapel Hill. The Capels leave with W's, which is disgusting. It makes me sick just to even say that out loud. I don't know if you watched this game, Titus, but it was.
I have decided to just like not watch Carolina the rest of the year because it's almost more fun. You have entered, and I say this lovingly, you have entered the Mike Rutherford territory where it's more fun to consume your team's content through you than it is to like watch your team. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's more fun for me to now get Louisville's not making the tournament. Louisville sucks. They lost their coach this year. We understand that. I have no reason to watch Louisville play this season. One more.
They play North Carolina next, so there you go.
Do they really? So my approach with Louisville has been, I just like, if I want to know what's going on with Louisville, I just go check out Mike's Twitter feed or something, or see what he's talking about, and then I laugh to myself, or most of the time laugh to myself, and sometimes it's not laughing. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Right now it's laughing. I think they've lost 7 in a row for the first time since 1941 is what he said. So I have reached that point with you, Tate, where North Carolina, I watched the Carolina Duke game. I will watch the next Carolina Duke game, but between now and then, I just want my Carolina updates from you and your Twitter, and like your the tweets you fire off and then delete after like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm just like
these dudes are bitches. Wait, I probably shouldn't say that. Delete.
It's
I hate this team so much. Delete.
The things like I never thought. One time I was just sitting there to myself last night, and I was like, I think I like Larry Drew more than Caleb Love. You know. This is where we are, but North Carolina not that far back, probably out of the tournament somehow, even though they are in 4th place in the ACC, 18-8. But they don't have the quad. The Qs do not approve of North Carolina, so they're kind of shocked there. Wake Forest is next; they're 5th. Wake Forest, I think, is in the tournament. They have the ACC Player of the Year, and also
is he going to win? Because I've seen like the Londa Williams. the talk of him winning ACC Player of the Year is picking up so much that it worries me that it's not obvious. You know what I mean? Like why is the campaign this strong unless he's not actually going to win and they're trying to convince everybody? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That worries me. That it's going to Paolo.
I think that everyone is trying to make sure that it's just not we give this to Paolo because he's the best talent in the ACC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the ACC media is trying to protect that and actually give it to the best player, which is why Alondes Williams is getting pushed so hard by everybody. But you're right. It does concern me. And I feel like if Banchero is going to be nominated for the Wooden Award and the Naismith Award and all this sort of stuff, he's probably, you know what I mean? People expect he's going to win the ACC Player of the Year. So that's
a great point that Banchero gets brought up as All-American stat. Like Alondes Williams.
First team All-American is what people were saying.
No one, I haven't heard a single person make the argument that Alondes Williams belongs on an All-American team, but he is the ACC Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right.
Interesting. Yeah. So there you go. And
something to monitor.
Yeah, something to monitor. And Wake Forest plays Notre Dame at home next. And I think that's the game to watch because if Notre Dame loses this game, helps Duke obviously on this path to win the regular season the first time since 2010. And also, it could be a nice win for Wake Forest to, let people know that, hey, we're here. We're for real. And then the next team and the final team I'll talk about is Virginia, obviously 10-6 as well. I think they're going to make the tournament. I just think that the tournament loves Tony Bennett too much not to let him in. So I think those are all double-digit win teams in the ACC, the ones I just listed. And I think
What's
that all the tournament minus Carolina. I think Carolina's going to they're going to box them out of the tournament. I don't know why, but the media wants us to be Indiana. You tell me why they want us to be Indiana. I don't get it. We won a title 5 years ago, but if I see it one more time by a media person, I'm just going to
Who brought Indiana into this?
Every single person out there, they're like, this reminds me of Indiana. I'm like, why?
What?
Everyone I talk to, they just bring it out. They're like, you guys are now like Indiana. I'm like, wait a second. Give me 40 years and you can say that.
Hold on. Who brought it? What is happening?
Every person I talk to. That's what they compare it to. And I don't want to be here.
In what way? They're saying this is the beginning of the end for Carolina as a blue blood?
Yeah, they're just like, you guys are on an Indiana path. And I'm like, no. We're not going to be on an Indiana path.
So they don't mean the team. They don't mean these specific two teams because Indiana and Carolina.
No, they're talking programs. We're talking programs.
They're talking as a program.
Yeah, we're not talking teams. We're talking programs. And I refuse to let that narrative win out because it's a Duke narrative. You know what I mean? I also saw Duke people tweeting like, I can't believe Carolina gave the reins over to someone who's never coached before, with the irony of that's exactly what Coach K is doing. You know what I mean? Like. What a world we live in.
What's the ACC the ACC fans as a whole, do you think? Because I know you're plugged into other programs and state fans and Virginia fans chirping at you and all that stuff. Does the ACC suck? And do you feel like this is because coming into this season, you felt like Carolina had to carry the burden of this, that when Carolina and Duke are good, it elevates the rest of the conference. So you feel the pride with the conference. When the conference is bad, it's usually a reflection of Carolina being bad, right? Do you feel like that's the case with, say, the Virginia fans, the Virginia Tech, the Syracuse fans? Do you feel it across the conference that, like, my God, we suck and we need to figure this out as a conference? Or is everyone just kind of focused on the individual teams? How do we get our teams into the tournament so we can lose in the second round?
I think that everyone needs Coach K to come out and say that the ACC is a lot better than the media is reporting. I think we all need Coach K to stick his neck out for the ACC and say that it's all media narrative. This is a really tough league. And when someone asks him how many people should make, the tournament, he should say 8 teams. You know what I mean? That is what we need. That's the leadership that the ACC needs. But no one, because Duke is selfish, as we saw when Wendell Moore goes down, no one on the team goes and helps him out. Coach K is the only one that comes out and does anything. So Duke's not sticking their neck out for the ACC. Carolina, they have no voice right now. Virginia, they're not that team. They're not the ones who can really do that. It's a leadership void. And I hope that Coach K sticks his neck out and says 8 teams, and then we'll take 6. You know what I mean? It's a negotiating deal.
It's a negotiation.
Hey there, thanks for watching Titus and Tate. For the full friend of the program experience, subscribe right below and come join us for all things college basketball. The action is heating up. Come join Titus and Tate.